It appears that my other board members are all remote today. So we'll begin with Ms. Kukla reading the preamble.
Thank you. My name is Liz Kukla. I'm the Secretary of the Board of Zoning Appeals, and I'm going to read the preamble for you this morning, this Monday, April 1st. In compliance with notification requirements of the city's open meeting law and section 101.021 of the codified ordinances of Cleveland, Ohio, 1976, notice of this meeting has been publicly posted. All boards and commissions under the purview of the city planning department conducts its meetings according to Robert's Rules of Order. Actions during the meeting will be taken by voice vote. Abstentions from any vote due to a conflict of interest should be stated for the record prior to the taking of any vote. In order to ensure that everyone participating in the meeting have the opportunity to be heard, we ask that you use the raise hand feature before asking a question or making a comment. The raise hand feature can be found in the participants panel on the desktop and mobile version and activated by clicking the hand icon. Please wait for the chair or facilitator to recognize you and be sure to select unmute and announce yourself before you speak. When finished speaking, please lower your hand by clicking on the raise hand icon again and mute your microphone. We will also be utilizing the chat feature to communicate with participants. The chat feature can be activated by clicking the chat button located on the bottom of the WebEx screen. Please note that call-in users can unmute by using *6. All meeting activity is being recorded via the WebEx platform. These proceedings are also being live streamed via YouTube for public view. We've provided a link to the meeting for those who wish to speak on our particular case via our website and email. All requests to speak in our particular matter have been considered. We've also received emails from those who have provided written comment on our particular matter. Back to you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Would you like to call a roll, please?
Sure. Ms. Roca?
Present.
Ms. Holzer?
Present.
Ms. Brown?
Present.
And do we see Alicia by any chance?
Yeah, she's on.
Ms. Wilson?
Present.
And Ms. Bates.
I am here.
Madam Chair, we have a full complement of board this morning.
Great. Any postponements or withdrawals?
No, we do not have any for you this morning.
Okay. What is calendar number 24046? There's a note on that. Is that we're still calling it?
Yes, we are. We had to repost it because there was an error
Okay.
with the ward information. So we did send out a letter timely to the neighbors and also to posted it on the web.
Okay. Great. Council people present?
Yep, we have a Councilman Slade.
All right. We have Councilman Slave present for that particular case. All right, I just want to make an announcement before we actually dive into things. Our court reporter works remotely. Her name is Joy Griggs. I don't even think some of our board members have met her since she's been working remotely since we returned post-COVID. So I just want to make comment of her name and thank her for all her efforts, even though she hasn't been present in person with us. So we appreciate everything she does. For that reason, when you are asked to swear in, we ask that you state your name, spell your name, and give your address. Ms. Wilson will administer the oath when we get to that, but I just wanted to make that comment for everyone today. All right, we have Councilman Slife with us as a courtesy to council people. When they are present, we take their cases at the top of the agenda in the order in which council people arrive. Today we have Councilman Slife. So Ms. Holzer will begin with calendar number 24-046.
Sounds good. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Our first case is calendar number 24-046. This is at 3305 West 165th Street. Robert and Colleen Lanning, owners, propose to erect a one-story single-frame residence with attached garage. The owners appeal for relief from the strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record, of which there are 3, with a note that City Planning Commission approval is required before issuance of a permit. And with that, I will hand it over to Ms. Wilson for the oath.
Madam Chair, I have to, sorry to interrupt you, Ms. Wilson. This case, we did need to repost because there was a change in the site plan as well. So if it's all right with you, we're gonna move it to the 15th, and that'll be in 2 weeks. But yeah, there was a change in the site plan. They're complying with the front setback, but they've changed their rear yard, so we needed to repost it and
Okay,
postpone it. So I believe the applicant is online, but she's been made aware. You know, it's up to the board if they're all right with the 15th date, of course.
board, I know that we had some absences coming up. Is there anyone who's going to be absent on the 15th?
Yes, Madam Chair, Board Member Roca, I will be absent on the 15th.
Member Brown, I believe I will as well.
So we'll still have a quorum if we have.
We won't, because I will not be able to be here either.
On the 15th?
Correct. So we'll need to move it.
All right.
Oh, that's a problem.
May 6th would be the next date then.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
24.
I'm sorry. I thought you were talking May. You're saying April 15th?
Yes.
Yes, April 15th.
Member Brown, I will be present for that
Okay.
meeting.
So we will have a quorum then.
We will
if you'd
have a
like to
quorum.
Put it on the 15th.
Excellent. Thank you for that update, Ms. Brown. So calendar number 24-046 is postponed.
Oops, wait.
Wait, okay, sorry.
I'm sorry not to be more precise this morning. I have jury duty that week.
That
Just
is
looking-
it. Yes.
Just remember
right.
that.
Right. I knew you had something coming up. Okay,
So the next date, due to the training that we have on
Right.
the 22nd and the 29th, and the next date would be May 6th.
right. Okay. All right, the board is in training the last 2 weeks of this month.
Sorry,
Yes,
I just have a quick question. Will another letter be sent to the surrounding residents regarding that timing?
yes,
Yes.
we will send out another letter.
is this your case then?
It's related, yeah.
Okay, all right. So sorry for the delay, but we won't have quorum and then we're out of session for 2 weeks for administrative training.
Sounds good, thank you.
So calendar number 24-046 is then postponed to May, what's our date?
May 6th.
To May 6th, 2024. And so you're clear on what's going on, right? Okay, great. Thank you for coming down today. We'll see you then.
Thank you so much.
All right. Anybody else?
No.
All right. We'll move back to the top of the agenda.
Sounds
All
good.
right.
Our next case is calendar number 24-037. This is at 3040 Quigley Road. CVDC LLC owner proposes to install approximately 3,104 linear feet of 10-foot-high perimeter plus security fence in an actual front yard and an actual side yard and an actual rear yard in an A5 unrestricted industry zoning district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record, of which there is one. And with that, I will hand it over to Ms. Wilson for the oath.
Thank you, Ms. Holzer. I will go ahead and swear in all who are present for this case. Madam Chair, do we have anyone in the room present for this one?
Anyone in the room for this one? We do not.
Okay. Anyone online present for this matter? I don't see anyone. Do we see any hands raised? I can't seem to see it on my phone here.
I do not see any hands raised at this moment.
Mr. Bay is giving us a negative on that.
Yes.
Michael Fonte.
There we go. I thought that's who we
There
were
we
going to
go.
see for this case.
All right, I'll go ahead and swear you in. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Please raise your right hand, reply with I do, state your name, spell your name, and give your address.
I do. Tom Trailer, Traylor, 3040 Quigley Road, Cleveland, Ohio.
Thank you. I see there is another hand. Ms. Lundy, you want to go ahead and swear in?
I do. Cindy Lundy, Amarock, LLC, 550 Assembly Street, Columbia, South Carolina. But our main speaker here is going to be Michelle Affronte, and she's also with Amarock, and she's raised her hand. I cannot hear you, Michelle, if you're speaking.
Michelle, you can go ahead and swear in, please.
She's having difficulty with.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
There you go. I can hear you now.
Okay, thank you. Michelle Affronte, 550 Assembly Street, Columbia, South Carolina, 29201.
Thank you, Michelle. Can you spell your name for the record, please?
She has,
Yes, my last name is AFFRONTI.
Perfect. Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to speak in this matter?
Any thoughts on the feedback?
I was gonna say, it sounds like,
Yeah.
she's calling in on one device and listening to it on another. If
Right.
that's the case.
Right. Michelle, so welcome. Good to see you again. Today we're having a lot of feedback with you. Mr. Bay thinks perhaps the situation might be that you're speaking on one device and listening on another. So if that's the case, we'll need you to mute one. All right. Who's going to be the spokesperson? Oh, wait a minute. Let's do history of the property.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is a quick one. There's been no change in the zoning since 1929. We didn't find anything in our records administration office. There are no variances on file. And in the more recent history, we see in 2013, there were residential electrical permits issued, plumbing, and then again in 2017, there were electrical and plumbing changes made. And that's all that I have that's relevant. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Who's doing legal today?
Good morning, Andrea Passbeck.
Good morning, Andrea. Is it Passback? Is that it?
That's correct.
Great, thank you. Good to have you joining us today. If you'd like to go ahead and read the legal standard for us.
Madam Chair, members of the board, appellant is requesting an area variance from the fencing requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the area variance, appellant must prove that denying the request, 1, will create a practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district. 2, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights. And 3, that granting the variance will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
Thank you so much. All right, who's going to be the spokesperson?
Well, now we can't hear her.
Michelle, we're not hearing you at all.
Nothing? No?
Sounds like we're still having some technical difficulties. Ms. Lundy, are you able to fill us in on what you wish to have happen here? We've had a number of these cases, particularly with your company, in recent weeks, so we might be fairly familiar with the process of what you're planning.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not familiar with this specific site, but I certainly can speak to the need for the fence height difference. As you said, I think you have seen a number of these, and so you are familiar with what's needed. There's the site plan you see in red where the fence is going. It goes around the entire perimeter behind an already existing fence. And the reason we're here for the variance is because we require a height difference. If we were this, as I said, we go behind a non-electric fence or non-battery powered fence. And so that non-battery powered fence is the first line of defense for the property. But once someone gets past that, I mean, they could easily climb that fence and then hop over if we were the same height. So our system requires there to be a 2-foot minimum, 10 feet as the industry standard, but a minimum height difference to prevent the bad guys from simply scaling the non-electrified fence and hopping over, because the two fences are very close together. They're about 8 inches apart. And that is by design. They need to be that close. So that is why we're here for a height difference, for the height variance. I believe you are familiar, as I said, with the reasoning from similar cases we've brought.
I think the board has been present for presentations on how the fence works several times.
Right.
So I think.
And I also can say that Michelle did have a conversation with the councilman for this ward last week. And he was very positive. I mean, I can't speak for him because he's not here. I know that's not I can't give that testimony, but he was positive about this and supported it. And I think if there were a problem, he would have sent you something, because she did have a chance to speak with him early last week or either the week before. I'm not sure. I know I was on vacation last week.
Okay.
But I'm happy to answer any other questions that you may have. I hate that Michelle was so prepared for this, and I hate that we're not able to hear her.
She's typically your spokesperson.
She is very good.
On these cases. So,
yeah.
All right. Mr. Trailer, do you have anything to add?
Oh, just that, we have the existing fence, just need the height variance to install to help deter theft going forward. So
you're representing the property?
Yes.
You want to give us a little background on what the property is used for and the need for fencing, and sort of put context to the situation?
Yeah, the property is the Cleveland Vehicle Detention Center, Lot 6, the same property where the clerk of court's office is, that stores, most of the impounded vehicles for the city of Cleveland.
Okay, great. I wanted that to be understood so everyone knows the nature of the use of the site.
Yeah, we're just trying to make sure everybody's vehicles stay safe and secure while in our possession, and the city of Cleveland has them impounded. So.
Okay, great. Do we have any correspondence to add, Ms. Kukla?
No, we don't have it.
Nothing from council on this?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay.
No.
All right, questions or comments from the board?
Madam Chair, I just have one, just for the appellant, whoever is available to speak. Have you experienced safety issues and break-ins? Just for the record, is that the need for the fence? That's your difficulty, is that you need it to be higher because you've experienced safety issues?
Well, let me just say that the fence needs to be higher. It's not a safety issue. It's a trespassing issue or something, keeping people that don't belong on the lot off of the lot. And the way for this system, this is a security system. It's really an alarm system for the perimeter of the property. And just like you would put an alarm on your building, this is the alarm system for your property. So he's just making sure he's reinforcing that perimeter to keep those that don't belong on that property off of the property. And to protect the inventory and the assets that are not just the cars, but any kind of evidence or anything that could possibly be in a car like that.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Trailer, I see you gave us a thumbs up on that comment from Ms. Lundy. Could you tell us about how many, what the inventory is on that lot at any given point in time?
Yeah, it's generally between 800 and 1,100 cars. Today, it's about 890 vehicles.
Okay. That's a lot of impounded cars.
And Cleveland
right.
police have been out and have arrested a few people for trying to break in or trespassing in the lot in the past, and been very responsive. But like I said, trying to find a way to deter and an alarm system that will make it more known that somebody is on the property or trying to get in going forward.
Is it staffed 24/7?
Yes,
It is, okay.
24/7 every day.
All right.
And if I can just make a comment about that too, if it's the middle of the night and you've got people, employees there, they also feel a safety and a security knowing that this fence is keeping the bad guys out.
That goes to what my question about the staffing, Ms. Lundy. I think not
Right.
only is it the assets on the lot, it's also the personnel.
It exactly is. And
Right.
it really, you don't, yeah, I don't think I need to say any more about that.
Right.
So.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
City Planning, or Mr. Bay, are you chiming in on this?
Yep. Hello, Xavier Bay, from City Planning. We don't see an issue with this fence, the security electric fence being installed behind the existing fence. It would be nice if there was some site upkeep. The current fence is pretty damaged. That's the only comment I had.
All right, thank you. Questions or comments, board? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, to that and to Xavier's point then, to the appellant, is there any plan to update or do anything to the current fence that Xavier pointed out is a little bit of an eyesore?
Yeah, so we constantly upgrading fences. We installed about 550 or 600 foot of replacement fence 2 years ago, and repair as needed or replace as needed.
Anything else, Ms. Holzer?
No, Madam Chair, thank you.
All right. Would you like to do the motion on this?
Sure. Having heard testimony from the appellant and the security fencing company, as well as city planning, I move approval of calendar number 24-037.
Thank you. Could I have a second?
Remember, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, Ms. Roca. I'll second the motion.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson, who has magically appeared in person.
Magic.
All right, we'll call the vote.
Ms. Roca,
Yes.
Ms. Brown,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. Holzer,
Yes.
Ms. Bates.
Yes.
Calendar number 24-037 is granted. It'll be ratified next Monday and we will send you a letter. Please feel free to contact our office next Wednesday for further instruction.
Thank you, and we apologize for the technical difficulties. We'll work on that for next time.
I'm sure you will. So
Yes.
we'll
Thank you very much.
We'll want to talk to Michelle.
I know, she'll be great. I know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Mr. Bay, any other council join us?
I do not, I'm sorry, Madam Chair, I do not see any extra council people.
Great, okay. Ms. Holzer, we'll move on to calendar number 24-040.
All right, our next case is calendar number 24-040. This is at 2009 West 17th Street, Hugh Fagan, owner, proposes to erect a 3-story frame L-shaped single-family residence with front-loaded detached garage in a C1 two-family residential district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record, of which there are 5. And with that, I will hand it over to Ms. Wilson for the oath.
Thank you, Ms. Holzer. I'll go ahead and swear in everyone who's present. I see the appellant's hand is raised online, so I'll start with you. Are you present for this case as well? Okay, you can make your way to the front of the room, and then I'll go ahead and swear Mr. Hugh in. Mr. Hugh, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Please raise your right hand, reply with I do, state your name, spell your name, and give your address.
I do. Hugh Fagan, Hugh-Fagan. My address is 17831 Lake Road, Lakewood, 44107.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else online wishing to speak in this matter?
Yes, Brian Kaufman, the architect, working with Hugh on the project.
Okay, I'll go ahead and have you swear in.
Okay.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? You raise your right hand, reply with I do, state your name, spell your name, and give your address.
I do. Brian Kaufman, BRIAN KAUFFMAN, and the address is 14394 Detroit Avenue in Lakewood.
Thank you. Anyone else online wishing to speak in this matter?
I do see Donna Grigonis with her hand raised.
Okay, Ms. Grigonis, you want to go ahead and swear in?
Yes, good morning, Madam Chair and members of the Board of Commissions. So this is Donna Grigonis. Work address is 2406 Professor Avenue. Thank you.
Thank you. Can you just spell your name for the court reporter, Ms. Grigonis?
Yes, it's GRIGONIS. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, anyone else online? All right, I'll turn to you. You want to go ahead and swear in?
I do. My name is Cindy Mancini, and I currently live in Westlake, but my husband and I own the property next door at 2001 West 17th Street and the house that's currently being constructed on that property.
Okay, and just for the court reporter, can you spell your name, please?
Mancini, Mancini.
Okay, perfect. Anyone else wishing to swear in? All right, back to you, Madam Chair.
Great, thank you. History of the property?
Thank you, Madam Chair. This property was originally zoned general retail in 1929. In 1992, it was changed to two-family residential. We didn't find any information in our records room administration for this particular address, nothing in the more recent history, and there are no variances on file.
All right.
Thank you.
Great.
Actually,
All right.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Ms. Brown?
can you go back to the slide? Can you explain what is the parcel? Sorry, just so I have that in mind. Is it the blue or the white? Or all of it?
I believe I can answer that.
Mr. Bay is going to respond to that, Ms. Brown.
Thank you.
So the blue house to the left here of the screen is the one parcel line, and then it actually cuts off right near this driveway. There's a triangular parcel that you'll be able to see on the next slide I pull up that excludes this shed with the hand icon over it. On another separate parcel, there's a triangular parcel that's kind of cuts across at the end of this garage. So basically, these blue structures and this garage are all within this parcel in question today.
And the tree. Thank you so much, Madam Chair and Mr. Bay.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. All right, we'll move on to legal standard.
Madam Chair, members of the board, appellate is requesting area variances from the maximum gross floor area garage, required rear yard, and minimum required interior side yard requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the area variances, appellant must prove that denying the request, 1, will create a practical difficulty not generally shared by others, land or building in the same district, 2, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and 3, that granting the variances will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
Great, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Mr. Kaufman, are you going to be the spokesperson?
Yes, I will.
Okay, if you could just kind of go down the punch list of variances for us and
Yeah.
explain your project.
Not a problem. So obviously here representing Hugh Fagan, him and his wife and 3 kids are looking to build a home on this property here, hopefully in this late spring, kind of early summer, if all goes as planned. But the property, as mentioned, is the 2 parcels with the existing 2 structures, homes on it, and then a garage as well. And then that wedge-shaped property that I believe is city-owned had a couple sheds on the property as well. There has been a little bit of conversation about potentially even the Fagans acquiring that small property as well. It's relatively landlocked, and I don't think they would build on it or anything, just to have this kind of lawn and separation between that and the bridge. When we were kind of awarded the opportunity to work on this project, it was incredibly exciting for us, just with everything that's going on with the Irish Town Bend and kind of the development there, and to be a part of kind of like the West 17th community, Duck Island, and everything as well. With having the 2 lots kind of adjacent to each other, it did give us the opportunity to try to do a side-loaded garage versus a front-loaded garage. We've worked in a lot of projects in Cleveland, and that has been a goal of a lot of different neighborhoods, is to try to avoid backing out into the street, just for safety matters for people walking in that. And also just, I think it overall just kind of gives a nicer look from the street to be able to try to hide the garage doors. So that was the intent kind of on the northern end of the property there, kind of with the drive-in access. And then from there beyond, we get into the bulk of the house. We're dealing with 2 things. We've got, south facing is kind of on the street end, so we want to bring light into the house, natural light throughout the day. We want to have some privacy from the bridge as people are walking across there, but also get up to a second level where they could really take advantage of the wonderful skyline across, but also even just to have the opportunity to kind of have one of the guardians kind of nearby and almost part of the house. There's I'll get into the things, just trying to give kind of a little bit of background of where we were at, but with Hugh Fagan, Irish descent, and then also with the Irish Town Bend being there, and just kind of the cultural history of Cleveland, our goal and what we were trying to do was almost create kind of like these stone artifact walls, similar to what you would see in Ireland, kind of throughout the prairies, where they would stack and build these stone walls. And then we wanted to bring in kind of this kind of Cleveland industrial aesthetic of these kind of Corten steel boxes that would sit on top. So that's kind of the design kind of background and what we were trying to do there. Obviously in that neighborhood, it's pretty dense. I think a lot of the properties are difficult with the hillside and trying to work with garages and everything. So, there are some variances that we were asking for, but I don't personally feel like there are anything that are extenuating or anything that's more severe than maybe, what other properties kind of through there have probably been given there. The max gross floor area, we are, over on that, just with the nature of kind of what we're trying to do with the garage, and just, to have a nice home for them. But I do feel like that's probably something typical. I know personally in a lot of the projects that we're doing now, we do run into that. It just happens to be with general lot sizes in Cleveland, just to try to get a nice enough home on the property. We have the front loaded garage. I kind of spoke about that a little bit, as far as really our main goal was just to try to hide the garage doors, and create a safer kind of opportunity for just the drive, and be able to back out and or back out of the drive and then pull out straight. So the rear yard, the existing house as is probably about 10 feet off of that rear property line. So we are bringing it in from that rear property line, and we tried to, in a way, you know, because that rear kind of angles, and we tried to match it up with the adjacent property that was being built right now. Not trying to, you know, push out into blocking view, those kind of views, but just try to keep that kind of same kind of rear property line distance. And then for the required side yard, it's a 3-foot max, and we're at 1.81. And really, I believe it's for fireplace and maybe a little bit of a second floor cantilevered space. It's not like the main bulk of the house and foundation and everything. And with the potential of potentially like acquiring that city-owned kind of wedge piece of property, that would open up or alleviate that, and would also even help with kind of the max gross floor area, and what we're trying to do there. But we're incredibly excited about this project. We do feel like, with what's happening down in Irishtown Bend, that this really could stand out and be, a real nice feature to and add to kind of like the Ohio City skyline and speak to like the, Cleveland architecture. And I do feel it'll fit nicely in kind of what's happening on West 17th there. There's a lot of contemporary style homes, and I do think it'll fit really nicely into that. So happy to kind of open it up for questions and everything, but that's kind of just where we're at this moment.
Okay, great. What is the distance of the motor court pad from garage to the sort of southeast boundary there?
Well, we're 5 feet off, so that takes us to 54. The garage is, I believe, 22, so it's 34, 32. So we're
Right.
probably about 30, 32 feet getting to that, to that kind of Cleveland owned lot line there.
Okay, all right. And what thought have you given to any debris or anything that might be flying over the bridge onto the property?
Yeah, we tried to keep that face, that facade relatively solid, for privacy, reasonings for them and safety and protection, because it is pretty close to that, to the bridge there. So we wanted to be cognizant of it. That facade shows it. We're working through and design and what that corner piece is going to be for the living room, but really what we're trying to do is almost make it feel like that guardian is kind of almost sitting in their living room, like we're trying to frame it.
Yeah.
I feel like it would be a complete loss, like if you're sitting in the living room and you don't have at night, you couldn't see that guardian bridge just glowing and uplit. I just think it would set like a really, really cool tone and kind of environment for them in the evening. So trying to be cognizant of privacy and protection, but also try to get a little bit of framing of views as well.
Right, architecturally, you would be remiss if you didn't take advantage.
Right, yeah.
All right, square footage is fairly standard. The rear yard setback. I think we appreciate, I'm sure whoever is speaking on behalf of city planning will comment on the fact that you went a side loading garage.
Mhm.
All right. All right, Ms. Kukla, I'm in the packet was something from the sewer district. Is that something that we need to read into record?
No, I don't believe so.
All right, did we have any correspondence from council or
No.
anyone?
No, we do not.
No letters of objection?
No letters of objection.
Okay, all right. Mr. Fagan, would you like to make statement about your project?
Yes, I came here from Ireland about 30 years ago. I own an environmental recycling company in Avon, Ohio, and live in Lakewood. We're very excited to move down to the city, to Duck Island, and this is a property we've worked on substantially for the last several years, trying to figure out the details. So yeah, we can't wait to get there. We're super excited about it.
Okay, great, thank you. All right. I'm gonna go to the CDC, then I'll come back to you, okay? Donna, you want to chime in here?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair and members of the board. Thanks to everyone for your comments. So I just wanted to start with saying this did not go before the community process that typically would happen in this part of the neighborhood. But with that being said, the variances don't look like they're out of the ordinary. They look pretty typical. And from my working with the Economic Development Committee and the neighborhood community group, I would say that the front-loaded garage would have been the biggest concern. And I do know that you guys are planning to go before them this evening, I believe. Is it today, the meeting, or tomorrow?
It's tomorrow evening. Yeah, we're meeting at like 6:30 tomorrow.
They were excited about that. So I'm happy to hear that you guys are going. And it looks like you guys are very thoughtful in a lot of the, design aspects that you did. So just wanted to say that, this didn't go before the community process, but it is, and I wasn't sure what was being proposed. So just wanted to make sure that our, community organization was present for the meeting, just in case you were proposing like an 8-story building or something, who knows? So I did receive a lot of phone calls and messages and emails about this property, people just asking questions about what's being proposed. But given what I've spoken with those people about, I don't know that they would be upset about this. So I think that's a good sign. Everyone's really curious about what's happening. So I will, when I get the plans, I'll share them with the community as well. But those are my comments. Since it didn't go to the community process, I don't have an official one, but that should be probably pretty something similar. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Guaranis. Appreciate that. Ms. Mancini, would you like to make your statement?
Sure. I was originally concerned about item number 4, but I also had not seen any plans. 'Cause there were no plans there. And so I guess it looks like from my property line to the start of their house, there's 5 feet then, not the 1.8. So the 1.8 is on the bridge side.
Yeah, that is correct.
Mr. Kaufman, let's make sure we've got our setback straight for your neighbor.
Yeah, that is correct. Yeah, we're maintaining the 5 foot on your kind of shared property line there.
Oh. Then I don't really have a problem. I thought that was the 1.8 side. So
Okay.
I hadn't seen anything. So
Right.
I would have been concerned a little bit.
That's why
concerned
we
with that.
do this, so that you can, come to a forum and make sure that your questions are answered and you've got everything clear. So looks like yours is under construction,
Yes,
nearing completion
in June.
in June. Excellent. Great. Okay, super. All right. Any questions or comments from the board? I'll go to Mr. Bay then.
Excuse me. Yep. Hello, Xavier Bay, City Planning. The rear yard variance and the next gross floor area are minimal variances. It's good to hear that there's been some collaboration to own the parcel, the triangular parcel there. I believe it's actually county owned. To the garage, we're glad to see that it's side loaded and that there's screening proposed there in the garage. If you can see on this facade, it would be nice that the site actually allows for you to possibly move the house forward and the garage in the back, which would be typical of what we'd like to see moving forward in the future. But there are some site constraints. I mean, there's a crazy elevation drop in the back of the yard too, which could have hindered some of their ability to move the site plan around. But with that all being said, we don't see any issues with this being approved.
Yeah. Challenging topo in the back there, so that would be difficult. Mr. Kaufman, have you been in contact with the city planner for this particular area?
I believe we have presented to the planning commission and some of the others. I think maybe it was the design review board earlier on. So we have, and we are the plan will be, if we everything works accordingly, that we'll probably be demolishing the house sometime in May. And after that's complete, then we'll be doing soil borings and making sure that we've got sound, soil conditions for our foundation design and everything. We will be cognizant of the hillside kind of off the back there.
Right. Mr. Bay, who is the city planner for this area?
Brittany Pavone.
Okay,
Yeah,
Um,
we did meet with Brittany.
you did,
Yeah.
okay.
Mhm.
I'm just sort of looking for you to make contact with her, in hopes that maybe that, parcel that is that triangular odd-shaped parcel, you can, expedite the connections with whomever you need to talk to
That'd be
to
great.
get a hold of that. I do have some concerns about flying debris over the bridge side, so I'm hopeful that you'll be able to get a hold of that parcel
Okay.
for your use.
Okay, that's great.
Okay, if there are no other questions or comments from the board, I'll entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, Member Brown, I have one comment. It's not really a question. I thank you for pointing out the need to connect with the planner and the triangular parcel that remains. I'm concerned that it's landlocked, and so can it be accessed? You're talking about the elevation change to the rear, so that just gives me a little pause of what we're approving.
Mr. Bay, can you go back to a view that shows the street access to the house?
Maybe it can be accessed under the bridge or something. I have no
Yes.
idea.
I believe there is from what I saw on Google Maps, it looks like it loops around to the northwest and has access to the south. Maybe Donna, can you just clarify that?
I apologize. What was the question? If it was landlocked here?
The street access to this parcel, is there access under the bridge and also around to the northwest? Is that right?
So there was a little bit of concern on my end, just thinking about this, being open and, if you don't own the property yet, there should be access, from the bridge side, but there's a fence there currently. So I don't know about the other side. I haven't walked the hillside anytime recently.
Okay.
But we would be willing to work with you guys as well to try to get the county to connect with you as well.
Great. Why don't, it sounds like you and Mr. Kaufman have been in conversation at some point down the road in the past anyway, so why don't you two connect and see what you could do? You have not?
No, I didn't know anyone on the team. I was like, who is this? What are they developing?
Okay. Donna, why don't you put your contact information in the chat so Mr. Kaufman can capture that?
Great, thank you.
Great. That'll
Thank
help
you.
expedite things along and move forward on that concern you have, Ms. Brown. Anything else, board?
I just want to clarify with respect to the question about being landlocked. I mean, are we talking about the street curves around there?
Correct.
Okay, so we're just concerned about the bridge?
No, where that little shed is, the way the site plan that's being presented, the shed is no longer accessible from that street because their property.
Oh, I see. So if they aren't able to acquire it, that's what you're talking about?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just wanted to clarify. Thank you.
It would be landlocked in that regard.
Right.
Yes, if they can't acquire it.
Right.
Does anybody know if that shed is county owned, or I was under the impression it was just owned by the
Well,
resident, current resident?
Yeah, that's why I wanted to get in touch with the city planner.
Okay.
So
It's owned by the resident, Brian.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so we'll try and get you a task team to be able to work on that with you.
That's great, thank you.
Okay. All right, anything else? All right, I'll entertain a motion then. Want to take this, Ms. Wilson?
Sure. Sure, Madam Chair, based on the testimony that we have heard, I move that we approve calendar number 24-040. Are we making the landlocked parcel a condition or?
No.
Okay, I would just move that we approve.
Okay, second, please.
Member Brown, I second.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. If you'll call the vote, Ms. Kukla.
Sure. Ms. Holzer?
Yes.
Ms. Roca?
Yes.
Ms. Brown,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. Bate.
Yes. Had water in my mouth.
Calendar number 24-040 is granted. It'll be ratified next Monday. We will send the appellant a letter. Please feel free to contact our office next Wednesday for further instruction.
That's great. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you. Good luck with your project. We'd like to listen to you talk all day, Mr. Fagan, but we have to
Thank
let you go.
Thank you, guys. Much appreciated. Thanks, folks.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming down.
Thank you. Good luck with your house.
Yeah, I like the design. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
All right. Moving on to calendar number 24-043.
Sounds good. Our next case is calendar number 24-043. This is at 13720 West Avenue. Fauna Morris, owner, proposes to install a 5.5-foot high fence in an A1 one-family residential district. The owner appeals for relief from a strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record, of which there is one. And with that, I will hand it over to Ms. Wilson for the oath.
Thank you, Ms. Holzer. I will swear in all who are present for this matter. Are you all present for this matter? Yes. Okay, you can move to the front of the room. Is there anyone online who is present for this matter?
Not seeing any hands.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bay.
Yeah, he lives,
Yeah,
please.
it's my fiance.
Okay, forward.
Well, that makes you important, so you've got to step forward.
All right, I'll swear you both in. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? You raise your right hand, reply with I do, state your name, spell your name, and give your address. I'll start with you.
I do, and my name's Fauna Morris, FAWNA MORRIS, and my address is 13720 West Avenue, Cleveland.
Thank you. I'll go to you next.
My name is Jeffrey Oman, OHMAN, and my address is 13720 West Avenue.
Do you swear or affirm that you will tell the
Yes, I
truth?
do.
Okay, perfect. There's no one else, so back to you, Madam Chair.
All right. History of the property, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There's been no change in the zoning since 1929. In our Records Administration Office, we found that in 1952, a permit was issued to erect a single-family dwelling and garage. There are no variances on file for this address. And then in the more recent history, we see that in September of last year, a building violation notice was issued to the property for sight lines, and then also doing work without a permit. And then, Madam Chair, there's nothing of note after that, other than them applying for this permit.
Okay. All right, we'll go to legal standard, please.
Madam Chair, members of the board, appellate is requesting an area variance from the fencing requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the area variance, appellant must prove that denying the request, 1, will create a practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, 2, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and 3, that granting the variance will not be contrary to the purpose intent of the zoning code.
Lovely, thank you. All right, you're going to be the spokesperson?
Yes.
All right.
So we decided.
Tell us what's going on.
We decided to put up a privacy fence to keep our dogs safe. Because a lot of kids from John Marshall High School, when they get done school, they like to reach over the fence, touch our dogs. Somebody fed our dog, one dog something, and they got really sick and I had to take her to the vet. Also, my younger son likes to play in the backyard. We don't let him go around the neighborhood. So him and his friend like to play in the backyard. We just want to keep the kids safe also. Trying to keep our property safe as well. I mean, the first week I moved into that house, somebody stole my son's basketball hoop. We put up cameras around our house to make sure nobody, if we can catch anybody, because his car got broken into. I've had my vehicle stolen out of the driveway before. And then we also just replaced it because we had a rusted fence that I felt like it was dangerous between the dogs trying to jump on it. There was dog fighting through the fence of people walking. Well,
Is it chain link?
yeah, because one guy would walk his dog and he knew that the dogs did not get along, especially with my collie Shepherd. And they
he would not just cross the street and try to avoid it. He would walk right along my fence. And next to my dog is like shaking, having like anxiety from dog fighting through the fence. And we'd have to bring him inside, calm him down. So we're just trying to, and also making the neighborhood look nice. You know, we copied our neighbor's fence because we thought it looked really nice. Just trying to make the
The
neighborhood.
folks across the street on the
Yes.
other side, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That was probably not a good plan. All right, what kind of dog do you have?
I have a Collie Shepherd, I have a Pit Bull mix, and then we just adopted another dog. He is basically a mutt, but he has a bunch of stuff. He's Pit Bull, Doberman Pinscher.
Bigger dog then?
Yeah.
Okay. And you have one son?
I have two sons. I have an 18-year-old and I have a 10-year-old.
Okay. Just helps us
Yeah,
realize what the situation is. And you had chain link up before and you removed that to put this up?
Yes.
Okay, all right. All right. Is this still existing?
Yes.
Obviously it is, since we have the photos of it. All right, so you ran it up to the front corner of the house. I'm looking at the bottom right-hand picture.
Yes.
So it goes up to the front corner of the house and then returns into the house there.
I
And
just
then-
replaced the chain link fence. That's exactly what I did.
Yeah,
I didn't know I needed a permit to replace the pre-existing fence. That's why we're here.
yes, it is. This is what we call forgiveness instead of permission. And often happens with fencing. You're right up to the sidewalk there. What's our situation at the driveway, Xavier? Oh, there we go.
Sorry, yeah, these are a little swapped over. The top right gives you a view if you're walking down the side street here, past the front of the house into the rear. And then you can see on this bottom left picture just what that looks like on the other side. The garage there.
So it abuts the garage and it's right up, is it right up to the driveway there?
2.5 feet.
2.5 feet off the driveway.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, and it's 100% opaque. All right, board, what would you like to see happen here?
Madam Chair, I do have a letter. I'm not sure if the board would like to hear it.
Oh, yes, if we have correspondence, let's listen to that.
This email is from Chuck Mullinax. He writes, "To whom it may concern." He's writing in support of Fauna Morris and her wonderful fence. Not only has the property been enhanced, it also is safer for Fauna's family and property. She has had people jump her old fence and steal her property. Since putting up the fence fighting of dogs has vanished. We inhabitants of the city of Cleveland are trying our best to beautify and secure the neighborhood. Unfortunately, he would not be able to be present. He heard a rumor that the inspections have been outsourced. This concerns me as metrics will be used to evaluate performance of the contractor. This never works out well for the general population. How many others will be put through this process to meet those metrics? It would be nice if the government worked on installing speed bumps on West Avenue to alleviate people speeding up and down the street. Or maybe resurfacing west of 138th Street. And no, people driving down West 138th Street are not in danger of someone backing out of a driveway. That's not a reality. Bottom line, the fence looks great. Fauna and her partner have been wonderful neighbors and have worked diligently to make the property look better and make their property safer for their family. To not allow the fence to stand would be a travesty. And that's Charles Mullinax. Thank you.
Do we know where Charles lives?
I don't see an address on here, no.
Do you know Charles?
He's right next door to us.
Across the street with the other
Yeah,
fence?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And when he said something about the speed bumps, I actually was leaving for work one morning, and since it's a corner spot, I backed up and I was at the stop sign. I seen a car 2 stop signs down, and I know from living there and turning that same way every day, I had enough time to turn. And when I went to turn, he was doing 90. He was there in seconds and almost hit me.
Yeah. So traffic calming, which is what that category is called, not under our jurisdiction.
Right.
But I would certainly contact Councilman Casey
Yeah.
about that.
I think the neighbor did.
Yeah, interestingly enough, I just was in Lakewood and I had used to work with the previous mayor there and email him information on traffic calming. And I went down the street. They instituted several different things. And so including speed bumps
Oh, wow.
there. So on different streets. And based on the woman who used to be the head of city planning for New York City is like a idol of mine. And so I emailed him things that they had done there and they were put into use. So anyway, so there are some things that are available, but that's not for us to do. Okay. We certainly appreciate that. I've had 2 cars stolen, one out of my driveway and one out of my garage. Not where I'm currently living, but I can empathize with your situation on that. Now, getting to the fence, however, I'm going to put it to the board for them to problem solve. So what would you
Actually,
like
I'd like
see
to hear
happen?
from city planning.
Okay, Ms. Brown wants to hear from city planning.
Hello, it's Xavier Bay, representing city planning. Typically in these cases, we'd like to see a visibility corner where the fence is parallel to the driveway. So if you can imagine that here, typically we ask that you replace like the same distance that would be one section of the fence to be that chamfered or that visible corner. So if I could actually pull up the site plan. And so basically it would form, like a triangular vision point here for pedestrians as they walk up the street. They'd be able to see any type of movement of vehicles in and out of this driveway by making a visibility triangle at that point in the fence. As to the height, we like that there's the opportunity how this house kind of is elevated up. It allows for there to be visibility onto the sidewalk, so that's kind of for their benefit. I don't really have anything else to say about this case other than, proposing that there be a visibility triangle parallel to the driveway.
Great, thank you, Mr. Bay. Okay, with that information, board, what would you like to see happen?
Madam Chair, I would also like to have the appellant speak to whether they would be able to increase visibility. My main concern is there's a kid riding their bike, pedestrian walking, the car pulling out just would not see them. And that could be a serious injury for someone. So I'd like to see a visibility triangle or some sort of alteration to the fence's current configuration to allow for pedestrian visibility.
Okay. Mr. Bay, are you satisfied with the fence along the walkway as it exists there?
Yes, I don't see an issue. You're talking about like parallel to the side door here?
Yeah, right up and abutting the sidewalk.
Yeah, I don't see a safety concern there.
Okay.
If this was abutting like another property, I would see some issues with, just like we had in the previous case, just someone being able to maintain their home.
Okay, great. Okay. So, going to be a little bit of work for you, but not a whole lot. So what we're going to ask you to do is that corner of the fence that is at the intersection of your driveway and the sidewalk there. You're going to chamfer it, which means you're just going to cut that corner off on the diagonal. And as Mr. Bay explained, to the distance of one panel of fencing, which is probably 8 feet. Did you stick build that or did you buy panels?
Stick build it.
Okay, all right, so, so 8 feet is typically a panel of dog-eared fence. And so you're just gonna need to angle it at that corner.
Okay.
For a distance of 8 feet,
Okay.
just for safety. So we're not asking you to have, that is 100%, block out. And typically we like to see some opacity. We're not asking for that. We're not asking you for lower the height. We're not asking you to move it back off the sidewalk.
Okay.
So, this is pretty good for you.
Yeah.
So just need you to make that one alteration.
Okay.
Okay, and that's for safety. I mean, I think given the fact that you've got 3 dogs and 2 kids that are gonna be actively using that yard, if you got a gate there too from the
We have a gate
garage.
from the side and we
Yeah.
also have a gate on the side.
Yeah.
So it's near the garage and then near the.
Yeah,
back
that's what I
door.
thought I saw when I looked at the close-up of the pictures. So that's gonna be the only thing. So, board, are you, do you accept that as an alteration?
I do.
All right.
Yes.
All right, great. I'll entertain a motion then.
All right, Madam.
Oh, Miss
Go ahead.
Wilson buzzed in first.
Well,
No,
go
go
ahead.
Miss Wilson.
I keep cutting you off today. Go ahead.
No,
Quick-
Go ahead. You were first. Please
Okay.
proceed.
All right, well, based on the testimony that we've heard today, I move that we approve calendar number 24-043 with the condition that there's some visibility in the corner where the sidewalk and the driveway intersects.
And we're asking that they chamfer that. And
That's the word.
Yeah.
We were asking that they chamfer the
Right,
fence.
right, for a distance of 8 feet.
Okay.
Okay, excellent. I'll take a second.
Member Brown, I second.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. Ms. Kukla, if you'll call the vote.
Madam Chair, before I do that,
Yes.
do you want an updated site plan for this?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, so that'll be an additional condition, friendly amendment to Ms. Wilson's motion.
Sounds good.
So when you do that, you'll just update the site plan.
Okay.
I'm talking to him because I'm guessing you're gonna have him do the work, but you know,
I just bring the water out.
yeah, that's
There
great.
you
Yeah. And a beer when he's all done, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, there you go. All right,
Ready for the roll.
all right, we're ready for the roll.
Ms. Brown,
Yes.
Ms. Holzer,
Yes.
Ms. Roca,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. Faith.
Yes,
Calendar number 24-043 is granted conditionally. We'll hold ratification until we receive that updated site plan. Once we receive it, the board will ratify it. They'll review the plan and then ratify it that following Monday. We'll send you a letter.
Okay.
So the sooner you get it in, the better.
Okay, how long do we have? Like, is there a time limit?
Of fixing the fence.
Oh, that's a good question.
good question. Yeah.
You have a violation notice, right? And I think you
It
need.
says, I think it was the end of May.
Yeah,
Correct.
6 months.
Okay.
I think what will give you time is the time that is required to get the permit. So that might be a question for Shannon Leonard if she's on the call.
Is Shannon still with us? Ms. Leonard, are you still with us?
Good morning, Shannon Leonard. What was the
morning.
question? I apologize.
The question, the appellant is asking how long they have to make the changes to the fence. They do have a violation notice.
That's a question for code enforcement. I can type the phone number into the chat and they can give them a call.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I believe that the application today does stay the prosecution
Right.
of that violation notice. My question was, as far as building and housing goes, when they bring the original application back to building and housing, how, I guess I should say, how long is that notice of nonconformance active?
Oh, as soon as this is resolved and the resolution is put into the system, and they have brought back the revised revisions to their application, we go ahead and adjudicate it and move it on to the building permit process. So I guess the question here is, you've all have asked for revisions before you signed the resolution, correct?
That's correct.
Right.
Yep, so once it's in the system, building and housing plans examiners will review it and issue the permit.
You can, do you have my number? We could talk offline.
Do we have her number? I don't know her.
We'll get it for you.
All right. So all I need to do is update the site plan and probably take a picture of the work too.
Correct. Yeah. Document it as best you can. And I don't know how you did your site plans. Did you draw that?
The one that was on the screen.
The
is what
screen.
I
Okay, all right. Do this. Get a piece of graph paper. That's 1/4 inch scale. And draw your plan on that.
Okay.
So it looks nice and neat.
Okay.
Okay? And then you can submit that. You don't have to have somebody, put it in AutoCAD or anything.
Okay.
But, so it's to scale
Mhm.
on the graph paper.
Okay.
Okay? So that should do it. All right? And then you can be in contact with Ms. Kukla and she'll talk you through.
Okay,
Okay?
all right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck. Take care of the dogs.
They're my babies.
Yes, they are.
You guys have a good one.
Thank
too.
you.
Thank you.
All right. Shannon had a message in the chat too.
Yeah, here, here. Excuse me, here, I got a message for you. You can move forward with the clicker. Here, this is the.
All right, on to 24-044.
Sounds good. Our next case is calendar number 24-044. This is at 3024 Carroll Avenue. Timothy DePlacido, owner, proposes to erect a 1-story detached reverse gable garage in a B1 family residential district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record, of which there is one, with a note that landmarks approval is required before issuance of a permit. And with that, I will hand it over to Ms. Wilson for the oath.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Holzer. I will swear in everyone who's present for this matter. There's no one in the room. I assume there's someone online present for this. I see the appellant.
Yes.
Perfect. I'll go ahead and swear you in. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give will be the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Please raise your right hand, reply with I do, state your name, spell your name, and give your address.
I do. This is Timothy DePlacido, DIPLACIDO, address 3024 Carroll Avenue, Cleveland, Ohio 44113.
Thank you. Is there anyone else present for this matter?
Not on my end.
All right, hearing none, back to you, Madam Chair.
Okay. All right, history of the property, ma'am?
Thank you, Madam Chair. This property was originally zoned multifamily until 1985 when it was changed to the current 2-family residential. In our records administration office, we found that a permit was issued in 1918 to repair the roof on the property. That was interesting.
Yeah.
There is one Board of Zoning Appeals, a case from 1959. This board granted a variance to add an addition to a dwelling and convert one family into a 2-family. And then we see, Madam Chair, that in the more recent history, in 1999, a violation was issued for exterior maintenance issues. In 2019, a permit was issued to re-roof the property. 2020, a violation notice was issued regarding working without a permit. Then in 2020, there was a permit applied for to change use from 2-family to single-family. But then we see again in March of 2023, they applied for the change of use from 2-family to single-family again. But the status was identified as inspection complete and C of O needed. And that's all that I have. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. DePlacido, just curious, do you know what year your house was built?
It says on Zillow, I believe it says 1900, but according to our neighbors, a lot of these houses were built at the same time, and they think that they were built like closer to like 1850.
Yeah.
But I've not been able to find anything to give me like an exact date, but I've definitely tried.
I was just curious because if it was a roof repair in 1918, typically that's 20 to 30 years after a roof was put on. So we're going to go to legal standard now that I have my curiosity fulfilled.
Madam Chair, members of the board, appellant is requesting an area variance from the garage requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the area variance, appellant must prove that denying the request, 1, will create a practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district. 2, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights. And 3, that granting the variance will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
Great, thank you. All right, back to you, Mr. De Placido. Tell us about your garage and the measurements. You've got this one variance you're seeking. And also you need approval from Landmarks. Have you gotten their approval as yet?
Yeah, I got approval on December 19th, it looks like. I have an email here from Robert that says it was approved.
Okay. All right. So tell us about your garage.
So yeah, we bought this property about a year ago. Really nice renovation on the house, but they didn't really do anything to the garage. I think it might have been there since maybe the house was built. Needs a new roof. There's holes all throughout the foundation and the walls. There's no electricity out to it. As you can see, the doors are more like shed doors. They're like wooden shed doors as opposed to like a normal garage door. So, I mean, long story short, we can't park our cars in there at the moment. So we're parking them out front, which is unfortunate because we're clogging up parking for other people who don't necessarily have garages. So we are proposing to demolish the current structure and build a brand new garage. It'll be about 26 by 24. It's supposed to sit 5 feet from property line. Our neighbor's garage is, I believe, currently zoned as residential. There's somebody living in there. It's a rental. So I think maybe that changes around how far our garage has to be. It looks like the current zoning is around 13 feet away. But as you can see, our property line is only about 32 feet wide. So that would not really allow us to build a garage. So yeah, that's kind of where we stand.
Okay. Mr. Bay, do you have anything to add as it relates to the neighboring garage that's being used as a dwelling?
Cedar Bay, city planning. I don't, when I was doing the site visit, taking pictures, I did notice there were chimneys on both the structures abutting this proposed garage, which I thought was interesting. Usually chimneys are on residential structures. Yeah, I didn't really notice much else. I did notice the context for that Carroll Court there. There are many garages parallel to their proposed garage. I don't see an issue with approving this variance. They're renovating the garage. It's going practically exactly where the previous garage was. They're aerating the walls. They're actually making an increased distance off the court there, which I think is all beneficial for their case.
Right, I would agree. Any questions or comments from the board?
Madam Chair, only just a comment that it's a very tight space over there on that alley, so I can see the need for this. And I just wanted to mention to the appellant, if you really want to know how old your house is, you can go to the Cuyahoga County Archives and look at the plat maps. I live in the same neighborhood, and they always say the houses in our neighborhood are built in 1900 because it's an easy way to put that in the system, but they're much older than that, and I suspect that your house is much older than that, and this garage is probably quite old as well. So just a tip that you can go to the archives and see exactly how old your house is.
I just wrote that down. Thank you for that.
Good info, Ms. Roque. I'm glad you shared that. And as to the existing garage, based on the construction, it looks like it was probably a carriage house first. So it may not date back all the way to the construction of your house, but probably pretty close. Has a little bit different roof line, but given the way the doors function, that's probably That's probably what it was. So,
And at the time, they were using horses, not cars, so that makes
correct,
sense.
right,
Exactly. Yeah.
exactly, yeah. My house was built in 1928 and I had garage doors that were carriage house doors, okay, so, you'll be abiding by the building code for the fire rating for the walls. It's a typical reverse gable, which is basically the roof line that is on the existing structure. So if there are no other further comments or questions, I'll entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, based on the testimony that we've heard today, I move that we approve calendar number 24-044.
Thank you. Could I have a second, please?
Member Brown, I second.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. If you'd call the roll, please.
Sure thing. Ms. Holzer,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. Roca,
Yes.
Ms. Brown,
Yes.
Ms. Bates.
Yes.
Calendar number 24-044 is granted. It'll be ratified next Monday. We'll send you a letter, but please feel free to contact our office next Wednesday for further instruction.
All right. Thanks a lot, everyone.
Good luck to you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You as well. All right, and that takes us to 24-046, and that's been postponed. So that's it for today's agenda. Yippee skipping. We go to old business. Let's cover the, want to do the affirmation first?
Sure. You may remember this case. It's at 3430 Rocky River Drive. The calendar number is 23-123. The Sisters of St. Joseph was granted a variance to establish use as assisted living, and that was in September of 2023. According to the representative, the applicant has been working diligently with the state of Ohio in obtaining its licensure. However, due to numerous steps involved in obtaining such licensure, it's not expected that the license will be issued by the expiration date. So they need more time. They need 6 more months.
All right. Is everyone okay with giving them 6 more months? So you recall the case and the extensive testimony?
I do recall the case and I accept giving them more time.
Okay. Ms. Brown, Ms. Holzer?
I think it's fine.
I may not have been here then, actually.
Oh, I think you may have been on your other assignment. You're correct. Ms. Holzer?
I said I think it's fine. I
Ms.
echo
Wilson?
Ms. Roca.
No objection.
Great, thank you. Okay, so that affirmation is great. If we go to number 5, which is the denied resolution. Do you want to just share any insights you have on that?
So that's on the Park Grove Avenue.
Correct.
Did you find that there were things we needed to change?
Well, there was nothing in the packet, so
Oh.
obviously it was denied.
Oh.
Yeah, it
So-
came up.
Oh, is that the one that, I wondered if that would show up on your side.
Yeah.
If you guys want to hold it until next week, we can.
But
But
we're
it
fine. I
is,
just wanted to.
yes, we did state that it is, I did note that the board does not have the authority, to grant the variance. And I did put, the typical testimony regarding the applicant's need for an enclosed porch. I could send it to you this afternoon if you wanted to read the details more, but it's a very simple, straightforward.
Yeah, why don't you send it up, just put it in the Dropbox so everybody has access to it, just FYI.
Yeah, and if you don't feel comfortable with that, we can always pull it back in.
Yeah, because I have a feeling that's gonna come back again, so in some shape or form, maybe.
Right.
And then also, number 3, which is 24-015, also known as 24-015, also known as 23-058. Just wanted you to clarify for the group why that's that way and how it works.
Which one, again, sorry, which one are we talking about?
24-015, which is also known as 23-058. That's the,
Oh, the rehearing?
yeah, that was the rehearing
Reinstate,
on the group home.
right.
I'm not following, sorry.
Let me open that calendar number really quick, 24.
So it has two calendar numbers. And
What's
so
the address? Maybe that could help me.
that's the one on East 125th. That was the group home in
Okay.
Councilman Gray's ward.
I'm with you now. Thank you.
Yeah, and it just has two case numbers, so I just want Liz to explain to everyone why that happens.
Sure. In this case, this was a carryover from the previous resolution. So we will be sure that it reflects both calendar numbers. But this was one that was denied in the year before. And so the applicant reduced the number of residents that she
Now I
was
got
asking for. And you voted to deny that on, for two reasons, right? The res judicata issue
Right.
and also
Saturation.
the saturation, yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
All right, so just a teaching moment, just wanted everybody to be clear on how that happens when there's two different years and two different case numbers. So, all right, so with that, we have calendar, we have number 1 on old business, number 2 on old business, and number 4 on old business. Without objection, board?
No objection.
No objection.
Not objection.
Super, thanks. All righty.
Madam Chair, did you leave out number 5? Or no? I'm sorry, I heard.
That number 5 is the Park Grove.
Right, you still need to ratify the denial.
Oh, yes, indeed. So number 5, ratifying the denial. Without objection, board?
No objection.
Not objection.
Super. All right.
Okay, so next Monday is the eclipse, so we're doing the whole hearing remote. So I'll be sure to get the link out as soon as Xavier creates it. He may have already done so.
I think I did, I can make sure I send it though. I'll make sure I send it again.
We have 3 cases on it. I wanted to keep it light because it is kind of awkward whenever we do the purely virtual.
Yeah, well, we haven't done purely virtual for months now, so.
Right.
And do you know what email you sent that to?
Well, typically I send it to Liz to send it out, but
Okay. She did offer to do that, didn't she? Yeah.
You received yours this past week, right?
I'll check, yeah. I'm still, I still have several of my emails offline.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep them all consolidated in the Dropbox. Yeah, sorry if it gets a
Yeah.
little,
No, it's
if I have
really
to keep sending them.
Yeah.
Great.
Everyone, virtually enjoying the Dropbox, protocol? Happy
Yeah.
with that? Show of hands. All right, excellent. Great. Okay, and then we went over the absences for the 15th.
Yes.
Sorry, I forgot. I just am maybe not excited about jury duty, so it keeps going out of my mind. But I'm also gonna have a date in May, and I will email that to the group after this meeting. Just, I need to check my reservations so I don't give you the wrong date.
Sure.
So,
And understand about the jury duty situation.
so this means that we will not have a hearing that day, so we don't have a quorum.
Right.
So that'll be 3 Mondays in a row due to the training.
Yeah, unfortunately.
That means on May 6th, it'll be a heavy, but we'll do our best not to.
So come prepared May 6th. Enjoy the 15th without a quorum. Training on the following 2 Mondays. Anything else? Anyone have anything
I'll
else?
be out on the 8th, just a reminder.
Okay.
Right.
We still have quorum, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we still have quorum. We think we had that. Anybody else have anything?
Nothing further.
All right. Okay. Who's going to eclipse watching parties? Anybody?
Who's staying home, staying away from the madness?
I'll be
Stay home.
All right, everyone.